Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel, How You Figure. And in today's video, we're going to be reviewing that NECA TMNT Tatsu figure. Very excited to be getting this into the collection. Excited to be reviewing this for you today. Picked this up at a local Walmart. You kind of see the box presentation here. The box was a bit damaged, but definitely be on the lookout for this figure. It is starting to show up in local Walmart, so I hope you're able to get one. I'm going to start off by taking a look at some of the accessories, and we are going to start off with this Oni mask right here. From what I understand, doing some research, I guess this is loosely based on the 2012 cartoon. Let me know in the comments below, about that, because I am curious. But this mask is really good. The paint applications are great. This right here just slides over the head sculpt, and it actually fits really well. I'll show you some footage from that later. But really good sculpt work and paint applications are great on this. Really cool accessory that I'm happy that they included with the figure. Here's the second head sculpt. Here's the weird thing. I think this sculpt is really good, but I also lose the lightness a little bit from certain angles. But I think overall this is a really strong sculpt. I like this secondary sculpt. The frowning face sculpt is really good as well that we're going to be looking at. That's kind of the default sculpt. But just really good paint applications there. Here's the other accessory, the Foot Clan mask. This would be really cool to have in like a display if he's like talking to Shredder or, talking to other Foot Clan members. Really cool added accessory here. Just a really good mask here that's crumbled up. This one is one of my favorite accessories. I don't plan on using it a ton, but this sculpt work on this fan is really top quality. The materials, it really feels like a fan, and again, it's plastic, but like it really has that feel to it. So I think they did a really good job with the paint applications here and the sculpt work. I'm really this is one of the better accessories in the whole figure, which is really cool considering that I don't plan on using it. This one I plan on using a little bit more. This is the wooden sword here. Really, really solid here. I think that this is a great accessory to have with the figure. That's the one thing that really stuck out to me while reviewing this, is like how many accessories you get with this and how many different ones and different options you can have with poses and all that stuff. So again, this wooden sword right here, really well done. Paint applications are great. The weight of it feels really nice, light enough to where you can really do some cool poses with it. But we're going to go to the main event here, which is the best accessory in the bunch. And to me, it's obviously the samurai sword here. I just love the fact that it can slide in and out of this here, and we're going to see that effect in a second. But the paint applications are great. It just looks amazing, man. This looks really realistic. NECA did a really good job with these accessories. And you can see this function right here. Looks great, unveiling the gorgeous paint apps on that sword. I'm really impressed, with this accessory. Kind of slides back in. You can kind of see where you can tie this around the waist or whatever. I tried to tie it around the waist. It was a little difficult, but I was able to get it done. So you might just have to loosen that up a bit. But again, this sword, in my opinion, is just a top quality accessory to have with this Tatsu figure, and this is how I'm going to be displaying it with this sword for the most part, and I will show you some of those poses here in a little bit, and you can kind of just see how you can kind of slide this back in. And we're going to see some of the other accessories here with the hand sculpts. You get these you get 5 total hands extra. You can kind of see how good these hand sculpts turn out, man. The aging lines, the bones in the hand, really good work here by NECA. I really am impressed with these hands here. Got a lot of different options you can do with the trading out of the hands. And then we're going to take a look at also the figure itself. You can see the frowning sculpt. I actually do think the more I've looked at this figure, even though I prefer the yelling sculpt, I actually think this sculpt is a little bit more accurate to the likeness of the character. You do lose that a little bit. I think the likeness could have been better, but I'm still overall happy with it. The whole figure looks really good. This material really does well to get posability, because you can kind of see this flexibility in the foot here. You can kind of see the ankle joint. You're getting some really good flexibility in that ankle joint, which is great for posing on its own. This figure you can actually probably even pose without the need for the plastic cylinder peg that you can put these into. You can see the articulation here with the knee joint. You're getting really good articulation in the legs. This material, again, I personally like it. I think it's a way to for them to be able to pose this figure, and I feel like it's accurate to the movie. You can just see right here, man. A lot of times you can kind of get a NECA figure right out of the box, and sometimes if it's like plastic all the way through, it's a little hard to pose that. This was a treat to pose, man. This was not difficult to pose at all. The articulation is really, really well done in this figure. Definitely the highlight of this figure for me was the articulation. You can kind of see this part here. This is all plastic. It still looks really good, and I think that they had to go this route with having this hard plastic over the cloth material. It feels, you know, it feels like plastic. It feels good, but it looks really good too. So I think this was the way to go to kind of show off that you know, to kind of cover up the fabric and also kind of show off his costume here. You can kind of see how this cloth material can kind of overtakes the wrist joint, which is nice to kind of cover that up. But when you're doing poses like this, you can still kind of see it, but not a deal breaker for me. Getting really good articulation in the shoulders here, which is really nice, especially considering we're going to be doing some poses later. And I'm just really impressed with the articulation. I know I've said it before, but that to me is the highlight of this figure. You're getting some really good movement in the elbows here, the elbow joints. You're getting some really good movement here. We're going to move this cloth back just a little bit so you can kind of see the elbow here. Really, really good stuff here from NECA. I just feel like they did a really good job with the paint applications on this figure, and they did a really good job with their articulation. The plastic bits, again, it kind of, you know, I don't know how else they could have done it with that piece that we're going to look at here that's over the cloth material. It looks good. It's a little tough to move his upper body and his like sternum area. It's kind of hard to kind of move that around, but overall, I don't think it's a huge issue. Now we're going to take a look at this default sculpt. Again, I think this is a good sculpt. The likeness isn't perfect, but I'm still happy with it. You get full 360 rotation on the head here. You get some really good movement here from side to side where you can have some different looks here. You get a little bit of movement front and back as well. So again, overall, I'm really happy with these sculpts. Even though you lose the lightness a bit, I think we've had stronger likenesses out of this movie line, but I'm still impressed with it, and I still think it's good enough. Right here is a great pose. I just love that I was able to do this pose with the two-hand over the head sword. You can kind of see the articulation at play here, just how it can stand on its own. Really, really well done here by NECA. I think that is something that I would love to see moving forward, is just this type of articulation in their figures. They do great sculpt work and all that kind of stuff, but I really like how we can pose this figure. You can kind of see this right here, the fan accessory. I was trying to figure out ways to show off this fan. Don't know if I'm going to use it a lot, but that is a great accessory, and one that had a little trouble, you know, putting it in the hand sculpts there. That was the one issue, is that some of the hand sculpts were tough to get accessories into, but overall you can kind of see him with the wooden sword here. We're going to take a full 360 view, and then I'm going to give you my overall thoughts on it. My overall thoughts are this: while we're looking at this these final you know, turntable images, I think that this is a great figure. I think that they really did a great job with this. I think the big highlights for me is that articulation, is that the way you can pose the figure. A few of the things that I probably didn't like about it that I wish they could have done, and here you can kind of see him with the Oni mask on and with that sword. I think this is a really great pose as well, but you can kind of see it's hard to get that plasticky stuff in the chest to work with you a little bit, so that's not a deal breaker because I think it will soften up over time, but it kind of gives him that lean forward look, which is tough, so you got to move the legs around. Articulation is fantastic though. I think it's a really fun figure. I think the accessories it comes with are great. The only complaint is that sculpt, I feel like, isn't super accurate to the actor's likeness. I think it's good enough, but I think it could have been a little bit better. But I actually prefer, oddly enough, the secondary sculpt, but I do think the first sculpt is more accurate to the likeness. But overall, this is everything you get with the figure. You can kind of see the 5 different extra hands. You can see the wooden sword, the different mask, the secondary sculpt, and you get that fan there and that Foot Clan mask. So you get a lot of good stuff with this figure. Overall, I'm giving this figure an 8.5 out of 10. I think it is just a fun figure, and one that you're going to have fun posing and getting photography with, and one that you cannot wait to add to your TMNT movie collection. Closing out, thank you so much for watching. This has been How You Figure. Definitely hit that like button if you enjoyed this review. Hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss any more videos from me. I think if you like this video, you're going to like it around here. I hope you enjoyed this TMNT Tatsu NECA review. Let me know in the comments below if you plan on picking them up and what you think about the figure. I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.